You knew him? His name is SKYFIRE.
Welcome back to the Tide Hangar. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Magic Square Meteorite, their take on a very G1S SKYFIRE for the Legend scale. And before we get into this, I did get this at Show Z. You can get yours there too. Please support me at Show Z with TH in the Support Your Reviewer. But we're going to take a look at this guy. We're going to do some comparisons with this guy. And of course, we're going to compare him to the New Age version. We're going to see what's going on with that. This and more coming up. Here is the packaging. It does say Magic Square at the top. It's very reminiscent of kind of the reissue stuff, the G1 reissue packaging that they had. Here is the back of it. You can see the tech specs. You don't even need a decoder and all that kind of stuff. I guess there's a sticker on the side of it, that kind of stuff. But really nice looking G1 homage packaging. So here he is out of the box, out of the packaging, and he pretty much only comes with his gun, no other accessories other than another chest place to plug in, and a card if you're collecting all those. So not much really there, but that gun right here does look pretty nice. I don't think it's painted, but it's got a speckle to it, kind of a speckle in there to the actual plastic. It's got the double barrel, kind of like we saw in the show. So being tune accurate, the goal with this figure is of course to be tune accurate, but all over there's really not a whole lot of paint to him and a lot of really bare raw plastic. But looking at his face, I think it's a pretty nice face sculpt overall and a head sculpt. You do have several items painted, like the top of his helmet there, his eyes, and the inside of his faceplate helmet piece right there. We do have translucent right here, and interesting on the back, translucent there, which I actually, when we get to looking at New Age, it's going to be it's a little different. And then we got a lot of red paint apps over here, different color feet that do match exactly the gun. And then we got red on the side, very flat matte all over. Again, flat matte would match the cartoon the most, but I like it a little bit shiny. And I wonder, that makes me wonder though, will they do one of those really shiny kind of repaints? And then we have a little bit of paint on his chest, which I think is different than the rest of it, because this is molded, and that's painted. So a different color of gray. He actually has excellent articulation. Head on a ball joint side to side goes up, and it comes up a little bit more for the transformation. We've got the shoulders go out with a really extreme butterfly. Then we go about this far with the shoulders, and then of course 360 on the ball joint, bicep swivel, and then this sort of comes out to sort of be a filler in the elbow. So that's kind of cool. There's an elbow piece on the back too. So that's all pretty cool right there. So there's some filler pieces in there that works. And then the hand. So he does have a trigger finger in the hand, and then he's got 3 other fingers, and then this does not move. The thumb does not move, but you do have an in and out on the hand too. So pretty cool right there. You do have waist swivel, which is something that you can't seem to get in Seekers, and it's cool too because the backpack will just kind of rotate out a bit to get more of a waist swivel. And then you do have an ab crunch, very slight. Now this is the weird part, which doesn't bother me at all, but Magic Square is usually like extremely extreme when it comes to an ab crunch. See, it's what they're known for, like this really extreme ab crunch that in almost all of their figures, but this guy doesn't quite have it, which doesn't bother me either. Leg articulation. Now, I want to point out something about this. You have a hiding hip flap, which I love, and then it goes to way past the 90, but you don't have much back here. But with that, it doesn't really affect the articulation much, as you can still achieve some dramatic poses with it. Or shall I say dynamic poses. Okay, so you can go side to side here with the thigh swivel. You do have is it double jointed? No, it's just one joint at the knee, but goes really far. So that's pretty good. So it's not exactly double jointed like we're used to, but it does kind of sink in and out, which is cool. And then the knee pad is actually a little bit adjustable. So if you have them going forward, you can push the knee pad forward like so. That's something different. That's new. And then down here, the feet, side to side, up and down, everything that you'd expect, probably because of the transformation, but great articulation on good old Magic Square's Meteorite. The last little feature he has, which is kind of basic, is you can pop this off. So you can put an Autobot symbol on this one, and there's another one you put a Decepticon symbol on, and then just pop it back in here. It doesn't flip around, but they give you the option however you want to do it. Truthfully, SKYFIRE is definitely an Autobot. He was fooled into being a Decepticon for like 6 minutes and 23 seconds of the show. Here's the comparison that everybody wants to see the most, and side by side with the New Age and the New Age's Firefox. This is Firefox F. So this Firefox here was actually a much cheaper version of the New Age. Now the New Age has more expensive versions that are, I think, better painted. There's more paint to it or whatever. But we're going to get into comparing these side by side. They're comparable price, $75, and he was $79. Prices fluctuate, go up and down and stuff like that, but that's what they were when I bought them. And then looking at them side by side, overall, he's shorter and stockier, he's taller, and he's thinner. And so you could say, you know, which one do you like best? Now, I'm not going to tell you which one I like best until I review this guy, which is, of course, tomorrow or technically right now. But with these side by side, here is the side of them. And so what you're going to see is paint down here on this, no paint right here. Slim, they're both a pretty slim, sleek profile overall. And with that, you've got darker reds, lighter reds. And then moving over here to the back, you're going to see that this is translucent, that's painted in, just depends on which one you like better. And the backpacks are both sort of cleaned up, but it's a little bit cleaner on the New Age overall. The lower legs are about the same, each one. Now, there are heel spurs on this one, but I don't have any issue with stability for the Magic Square, so for that consideration, the heel spur seems like they probably need it because he's taller and bigger, and he's a little heavier. New Age's is heavier, which is a big surprise to see New Age putting out taller figures than Magic Square, because they're usually run on the small side. Actually, with the gun comparisons here, that's what they look like. They look very similar, but yet different. Of course, the New Age one is bigger and taller and all that kind of stuff, longer. But I want to point out something that I haven't really heard anyone talk about. New Age is much brighter white. This is kind of a yellowish tint to it. This is not bright white. It's a little bit yellowed, almost like if you bought it bright white and like 4 years later it kind of yellowed a little bit. It's kind of the look of this. It's an off-white, and it doesn't seem like it was intentional. But anyway, that's kind of that look right there. And so when it gets to articulation, all that kind of stuff, we're going to do maybe a little bit more comparison when I look at this guy, but this is where we're at right now. We have other comparisons to look at. So I'm trying to get a little bit better with these forced perspective camera tricks that I'm trying to pull off here. But okay, so this is DACA Toys Kronos over here, and then over here is Fans Toys. So what I believe in my mind is that New Age is closer to Fans Toys, although not exactly the same, some differences, but closer. And then Magic Square is going to be closer to Takara, but the DAC is what I've got right now. We'll have Takara there. So that's kind of my thoughts on this, and I'm curious how that turns out when we actually get Takara in hand. And here they are next to, okay, so this is Metaform Sky Guardian and the original G1, which I'm still working on restoring. I have 11 of them I'm restoring right now, so it's kind of fun. But I have big plans for the Takara SKYFIRE video. You can see how these look. And in comparison to Prime, this is one of the things that I'm kind of confused about scale. But when you look at scale right here, you can kind of see that the Masterpiece one goes to about the middle of the cockpit. But the head on this one barely is up to the cockpit. So it seems a bit different type of scale they're going with in Legends than what they're using in Masterpiece. So I don't know what's right or what. It's all up to you. It's your perspective and all that kind of stuff. And just so you want to know, if you want to know here, that's where New Age kind of stacks up. Last little size comparison going on right here is the Meteorite versus pretty much a bunch of other stuff. Magic Square, Iron Factory, New Age 1.0. The 2.0 is magnificent. It looks really good. And then this is where I thought they went really big with the Dinobots, but Dinobots need to be big, so I was pretty pleased and happy with that. It's a very, very nice Grimlock that they made. So all over, that's how they would kind of stack up in your Legends collection. All right, so let's get this guy transformed up. So take his gun out, and first thing we're going to do is to close his fist, open this back piece, and we close his fists in like we do with pretty much every transformation. Other side. Close it up. Fold it in. Close it up. Okay, come around to the back. I'm going to spread these pieces here. like so. Try not to chip the white paint. That sucks. Okay, so then we're gonna separate the backpack or pull it out a bit. Let's go ahead and pull these up, fold this around, like so, and then these are gonna come out. So you can, I guess, push that down, or either way, just pull them. And then we're gonna rotate this around. That is nice and tight. You want the tabs to be perfectly leveled down, exactly down, so they're going to tab into the legs later, kind of like you'd expect, right? Okay, next we're going to separate this. I guess we can pull these up. Do those pull up? Doesn't really matter. You can separate these, kind of pull them out, and then separate these, pull these pieces up out of the way, and then we can pull this up, and we're gonna have a whole lot of fun stuff to go on with this, but that comes out. So this is gonna tab up here into place like so. Then this is gonna spread out like crazy, like so. And then we're going to tuck these in. Well, let's go ahead and get this moved around. We need to flip this crazy stuff here around. That goes around to the outside. So this folds down, and then this goes up here, and we're gonna turn it to the right like so. And it's gonna be facing outward. And of course there's a tab there that stuff's gonna plug into. So we're gonna fold the other one around, do the same kind of thing right here. Go ahead and fold this around, fold this tab in, go in a little bit different order on the second go around, and that worked. So fold that around like so. That's what I did wrong. I never do anything wrong. Yeah, I did. Okay, so this is going to fold down, and there are slots here. Let's just turn around. Slots in the arms that are gonna, and there's tabs that are gonna tab in here. So let's see here. Well, that's not right. There it is. See, that tabbed in. Those slots tabbed at the top of that. This comes down, and there's more stuff, more tabs here that this piece is gonna go into, and then this slot is gonna tab into that. And so everything's gonna line up just right to get the tabbing in. Down here like that, and we're sort of making some good progress here. Now the head, you need to make sure it's just kind of angled in here like so. So this is gonna fall down and sit. Are we in everything in good shape here? Okay, everything's in pretty good shape so far. We're gonna come down to the legs, open this up, and then this is a strange one. It pops out like so, and then we're gonna fold up a filler. My hand's covering it. Folding up a filler tab. Fold up a filler tab. There you go. Now this is actually going to be the landing gear too, which is kind of cool. And then this goes into it, but we need to do the foot real quick. Let's see here. We are going to separate this piece for the foot, and the big part of the foot needs to go inside, and then the small part of the foot is going to kind of form this closure to this piece. Now it can all go in together and collapse and tab in, and you've got one side done, more or less. Let's get this side piece kind of aligned. All right, now same thing on the other side, sort of. hard part getting this out again. Let's see, got luck with my other finger. There we go. Luck right there. That's good luck. Good luck charm. Now to do the foot. So I'm going to separate this piece right here. Shove the big part of the toe inside. And then flatten this out to fill the gap. But properly fill the gap. Okay. There we go. And then combine ores it, accordion it, whatever people call it, into place. And you can see that it's appropriately doing it correctly. And that tabs together. Now we need to get these wings taken care of. Fold out the wing, fold out this further. There's another section of the wing that comes down and out. Pick that out of there. All right, there we go. And then put it in place. This folds down. It's a nice little puzzle there, isn't it? That's kind of fun. Fun little puzzle. Well, not really. Okay. It's strange and it's different. You know, it's different. Like this, there's some similarities between this and the New Age, and then there's something like these wings are completely different. I feel like I'm having to flex. There we go. Wings are way different. Okay, now let's get it all lined up just right so that tabbed in and everything is pretty much just right so that we can close this, close all that. It's nice and tight in there, and down goes this. So we have tabs and slots all over this. So let's start tab here. And then tabs back here. There we go. Another tab right there. And then that tab there. And then just going around it, making sure it's all tightened up. It's pretty much what it needs. These little pieces are kind of fillers that just kind of go in place there. Fillers. And that's pretty much it. Bring the landing gear out. Did I not bring the landing gear out in the front? I think you have to bring the landing gear out while you're transforming it. I think you do. I think I missed that. Anyhow, there it is. All right, so here it is in his alt mode, and it's not a bad looking alt mode, not a bad looking Skyfire. There are things to like about it and things to be overly critical about, but we're not going to be either one. we're going to be neutral. Yeah. I actually like it. It's pretty cool. So the thing about this is that it does have gun storage, and so it was quite a bit for me to cram it in there, but yep, it's there. It took a bit. I actually pushed it in from at an angle and then flipped it around. That was how I got it in the first time. So anyway, if that's not supposed to be weapon storage, well, I think I might have damaged something. Who knows? Anyway. Still pretty cool overall. I do like it. Looks good. This back area, it opens up. There's a seat in there, and it's got it's just some detail to it. Close that down. This I did chip my white paint on it. Kind of sucks. It does have a cockpit opening right here, so let's see about opening this without chipping any of the paint. So the thing is that the painted edge is interesting to have the painted edge. I just untransformed it for a second so we can open that up. There's not really much in there other than maybe this this hole to hold the gun, maybe. But still kind of cool. Microscopic figures and Diaclone figures that fit in there, all that kind of stuff. There's some cool stuff you could do with that. But coming around to the side, it doesn't look bad. But looking at it like, oh, it's kind of kibbly, but it does sort of match the animation. So this matches animation. This is part of the animation. This backpack's part of the animation. Now, it's flat in the show, and this is part of the animation. So a lot of this stuff does match the animation. Here's the boosters, thrusters. and they're all plastic. No die cast this bad boy, by the way. Does look okay from the back. I mean, that sort of looks like a good way to do the feet. So I like that. Really, this panel is even yellower than the rest of it. Like in alt mode, it doesn't look so yellow, but in bot mode, it looked more yellow. But this is a really yellow hip panel piece. There it is on the bottom, and it's pretty clean overall. And so getting this out really isn't that hard. I did have to just unpop this and push it out, and then pop it back in, which that's a lot of fun. It's gonna mess it all up now. But anyway, that's what I had to do. I do like the red paint, the stripe. It is kind of a strange shape of the wing. There's even paint back here on these little boosters I didn't notice at first. And so some cool stuff right there overall. And then stuff from the bot mode transfers over. So let's take a look at some comparisons. Here's compared to G1 Jetfire, and of course, as a Legends, he's not going to be as big as the Jetfire. Jetfire is about 9 inches tall, something along those lines. So there it is. Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty good. Nice compliment to what's going on here. And then again, this Jetfire is one that I'm kind of in the process of restoring. I had 12 to restore, sacrificed 1, restoring 11. A big thing going on in the future. I'm going to be using those for another fun video in the future. But yeah, that's how he looks next to G1. Here's how he scales next to a couple of usual suspects. McFans Toys Huffer. This is Magic Square New Age 1.0 and Magic Square. I think that looks fine. That looks fine. I could pull up in this car and then get into that jet and it would make sense. Okay, so looking at these, this one is the New Age, this one is the Magic Square, and I gotta say they both look really good. Versus the cartoon accuracy and all of that bit, I'm not sure which one matches it more 100%. It's sort of, kind of, one does one thing better and another one does another thing better, back and forth. But looking at the side profiles of each of these, and let's see if I can get all this in frame. The side profile does look pretty good overall. And then the back, rear, I mean, they both look good from the back, but they both go about it in a bit of a different way. So it's just slightly different. I don't know, maybe a little cleaner on the New Age over here. New Age over here. And then there's that side. So with the animation, it does show this. And this is something that they show. So both of them kind of got that right. And both of them sort of got that right in a different way. But with the Magic Square one, it does actually look like shorter and thicker for the front end than this one. So that's something that's actually right also. So it's just plus and minuses on each one of them. They both look great. I don't think you can go wrong with either one of them for alt mode or bot mode. But at the end of my New Age, you'll find out which one I like the most overall. So what I think about this Magic Square MS-B47 Meteorite, I think it's a fantastic looking figure. It is a great figure, but then again, I absolutely love Jetfire and SKYFIRE, and it did not disappoint me at all. The thing about it is I was a little disappointed in its kind of a yellowish color instead of bright white, and of course it doesn't have the paint like you would see with a New Age, but it does a lot of things really well. It's got great articulation. It's a solid feeling figure. Plastic doesn't feel bad. I mean, everyone always complains about the plastic on this guy, and I like that he has clear translucent on the front and the back. A little short on accessories, but for 75 bucks for a Legends figure that's this size, and it really does work, I like it. Do I like it better than New Age? You're gonna have to wait till tomorrow and watch the New Age video. I did get this to ShowZ. Like and subscribe, and of course, when you go to ShowZ, please help out a reviewer here and put in TH. How do you finger out?
SKYFIRE and I were both explorers from Cybertron, Earth. We detected no intelligent life on the surface, but SKYFIRE insisted we look closer. A polar windstorm came up suddenly, and SKYFIRE and I were separated.
That must have been shortly before our final falling out with the Autobots.